There was not one manager who said he would be a Premier League player.
Trippier's outswinger. Maguire, Kane has stolen.
Harry Kane does something that I've never seen.
Kane goes for
A player in this position do before.
leaves it for Kane. Broken the Spurs record, broken the England record.
Harry Kane, one of the greatest strikers that England have ever produced.
There was other players who I thought perhaps might be better than him technically. Harry had one thing over all of them, which was desire.
And I really had to kind of work hard to kind of prove people wrong. There was a park that I used to go and play in Chingford, probably 3 or 4 years old. We'd go over the park with my dad and my brother. Trees as the goalpost, my dad would go and goal, and me and my brother would almost just play 1v1. And I was a really big England fan growing up. 2002 was my first memories, like big memories of being so excited about a tournament. When I was young, David Beckham was someone I looked up to, and he's from Chingford as well. And I think I was about 5 years old when I first played for Ridgeway, the blue and white shirt. I had a lot of kind of friends there at the time who I'd been to school with, so just for me it was just kind of playing a game of football with friends, enjoying it. When I went there, I just went there to enjoy it, play football with friends.
At first, it was just for fun, but over time, something started to change.
And he scored quite a lot of goals that year as well when he played for us.
Kane didn't just want to play, he wanted to be a legend.
When you are a kid growing up, you dream about playing in that stadiums with big atmospheres, with a lot of noise.
I think it's the dream of everyone, because it's the highest level.
The chances of you becoming a professional footballer and playing in the Premier League are so minuscule.
Unfortunately, very few of us do make it to the very, very top.
Playing in the Premier League is a dream most youngsters never reach, and Harry Kane was about to find that out the hard way.
Yeah, it probably started when I got released from Arsenal when I was about 8 years old. I think that's my first experience of rejection, I'd say.
People at Arsenal said, look, we're not quite sure whether this boy's going to be for us. So at that time, they didn't think that he showed the same prowess as other boys.
It's natural, isn't it, to doubt yourself a little bit.
It was here where Kane learned a lesson that would define his entire career. It wasn't just about talent.
A lot of hard work, a lot of training behind the scenes. We work hard, and another opportunity will come. And then that's ultimately what happened. From 11 years old, I got picked up by Spurs, and it was a great feeling for me. A big club like Tottenham putting their kind of faith in me and saying that they wanted me to sign a contract and be part of their kind of programme.
Harry was never really put on a pedestal. Nothing was ever given to him.
He got his head down. He worked so hard both on and off the pitch.
Kane had made it through the gates at his boyhood club, but just being there wasn't enough.
Well, he wasn't the quickest and he wasn't the most agile. He probably didn't score a lot of goals.
He possibly wasn't one of our better players at that particular time.
There was other players who I thought perhaps might be better than him technically. We soon got to learn that Harry had one thing over all of them, which was desire.
He is relentless in his desire to improve.
He didn't have electric pace, but he certainly worked it out that it wasn't going to be about his pace. I think because he worked out the timings of runs, positions to take up.
But the one thing I think that he was starting to show was his ball striking technique. He wanted to prove to us that he was deserving of staying.
And after the age of under 18 football, I think they need to go and play competitive football somewhere else in a real environment where it means something.
Leyton Orient was really good for me. I was 17 years old, still a young boy, and went into kind of men's football at an early age and really opened my eyes to how much it meant to the players.
If ultimately you want to play for Tottenham, then you need to feel that pressure.
Kane would now have to prove himself in the professional game.
I went on to Millwall the next year in the Championship, was in a relegation battle. Great experience for me.
Harry was very young at the time when he came to Millwall and had to adapt and find different ways to get himself into the game. Fantastic ability to finish, He's a real natural finisher off either foot with his head.
I had a good time at Millwall. I made a lot of friends there, players, staff.
But not every chapter was a step forward.
2 great loan spells at Leyton Orient and Millwall, done really well. Then I went to Norwich, couldn't quite get in the team, I got injured, so I come back and went to Leicester. Found myself on the bench a lot, played a few games, didn't quite do it. And
not all the loans that he went out were successful.
Those days, if you said to me that Harry would have become the celebrated player that he is, no, I wasn't sure.
It was a really difficult
time for him that obviously which people have probably not recognised that with him because everybody's went, he's done really well.
If I can't play for Leicester in the Championship, how am I then going to play for Tottenham in the Premier League?
There was not one manager who he went on loan to said he would be a Premier League player.
Did you ever think at one point at the beginning it wasn't going to happen?
There was times where I thought it was going to be tougher than others. Thinking to myself, I'm so far away from the England team, how long is it going to take me to get there?
Something clicked in his head that he got sent back from Leicester, and that was a real turning point for him. He started coming in, he was the first one in.
When there's question marks over your head, you get so much fire inside you.
I mean, I've always had self-belief, so in a way this is more motivation to try and prove people wrong, prove the people that weren't playing me. The next season I went back to Spurs and I said to them, I want to stay and prove that I can play at this level.
Trained really hard, outperformed many other strikers who were there, and he was just getting overlooked time and time again. Franco Baldini comes over to me and he says, Tim, the chairman wants to have a chat with you. And then he proceeded to tell me that we're not sure he's Premier League standard. We've got a bid from Leicester, I think we can let him go there. I said, how much is it? He said 600 grand. I said, he's playing tomorrow.
Low cross in, Kane!
Harry Kane gave him his first Premier League start and he got a goal for him.
He done brilliant tonight. You know, he's been unlucky not to get more opportunities. To be honest, I wanted to push him in.
Flung in by Lennon for Kane!
You could just see that if this boy gets an opportunity and gets a run of games at that sort of level, you just know he's going to score goals.
It was just a matter of working hard, and that's kind of what I did. I kept my head down, didn't complain.
Kane finally got the opportunity he deserved, and when he scored that first goal, the floodgates had opened.
Off the line, it's there! Harry Kane, inevitably for Tottenham. Towards Kane, there's the header! Harry Kane! Is that the goal that gives Tottenham all 3 points in the North London derby?
It was our first North London derby and he scored the winner later on. He scored 2 on that day, and I think everyone, not just within the club but around the country as well, felt like Harry had really arrived at that point.
To score 21 goals in your first season, you know, no one can ever take that away from him.
Harry Kane, of course, had to have the final say in their season. A wonderful season from him. He was the poster boy of this campaign.
He's really enjoyed proving people wrong.
But it wasn't just for Spurs where Kane found the net.
Teased it up for Harry Kane!
It's a dream come true, you know. Obviously, I was very excited to make my debut, and then to score as well, which is what I dreamed of as a little kid up here at Wembley, and definitely a special night and a proud night.
Storm, haven't they? Here's Harry Kane. Kane goes for it! What a goal from Harry Kane! Cometh the hour! Cometh the man for Tottenham!
By the summer of 2016, Kane had already claimed a Golden Boot award, but despite his individual win, he would soon come to realise what actually mattered.
Yesterday, Iceland beat England 2-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of the Euro. No one really expected it. It's a huge upset for England.
Iceland is managed by a dude who works as a part-time dentist.
Well, that was the worst performance I've ever seen from an England team. Harry Kane on corners in the first game. I mean, the list is endless, Gary. It's from start to finish. I think it has been pretty hopeless.
Harry Kane was the leading goal scorer of that league last year. He hasn't scored a single goal in the European Championship so far.
Think about you and the team in 3 years. What would you like to have, or how do you see that team going and yourself going?
Okay, Harry's here. Harry, great news. Signed a new deal.
It's amazing. I could say this team, everyone knows how much I love this team and what I feel for this club. And
when you sign a deal like that, you as a player, you don't really you give up leverage in exchange for those 6 years.
Chelsea are on the brink now of the Premier League title because their closest challengers, Tottenham, have been beaten by West Ham.
And that's the second year running now that Tottenham Hotspur have lost the league to a mid-table team.
Spurs have done it again. They've Spursed it up. Spurs.
Last year, Spurs failed. This year, Spurs failed.
I just want to win. I want to win trophies. I don't think there's a day that goes past where I'll wake up and think I want to win.
Harry Kane scored 4 goals against Leicester and 3 goals against Hull, meant he retained the Golden Boot and ended the season on a high.
And you look at the individuals that you think are top players and you think they want to play in the Champions League. It's important for Spurs because why? Because of Harry Kane.
last night. Juventus produced a resilient performance against Tottenham to progress to the quarter-finals.
These are the moments that they need to kind of get over these hurdles to start continuing to build this club to be talked about as a top European football club.
But Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham. They always created many chances and scored so much, but at the end they miss always something to arrive at the end.
Harry Kane, certain players at that football club might have to leave because they don't win anything.
If you're Daniel Levy, what do? Do you pay him?
Pay him.
You've got to pay him.
He will go eventually. You can only say I'm a Spurs man for so long.
Kane had given everything to his boyhood club, but now he had to make a choice: loyalty or trophies.
England have officially appointed Harry Kane as captain for the World Cup.
Yeah, just a dream come true, really. It's an amazing honour. Obviously, you always dream of playing for England growing up, and yeah, to be the captain is that little bit more. And
he watched England as a kid, got on the shirt, and now he's not only playing for England, but he's the skipper of the team.
He's been our captain of late, Harry, and you know, we all worship him. He's an incredible player. And
Kane wasn't a rising star anymore. He was the present, the captain, and the entire nation's hopes rested on his shoulders.
Trippier's outswinger. Maguire, Kane has stolen it at the death. That's what he's there for. A pile of English joy.
The World Cup semi-final finished England 1, Croatia 2. Croatia are going to the World Cup final.
This group don't have anybody apart from Harry Kane you'd mention in the long list of distinguished English players.
Unfortunately for Kane, the misery wouldn't end there.
Jurgen Klopp managed Liverpool to Champions League victory over Tottenham on a balmy evening in Madrid.
It clearly wasn't fair, and they started with a man down.
I think this cycle's over.
My fear for Harry Kane is if he does all this but doesn't get his hands on big trophies.
And it looks to me like this is the end of it, really, or they're not going there. They're never going to win the league or the Champions League now.
Tottenham have relieved Maurizio Pochettino of his duties this evening, just months after bringing them to a Champions League final.
Maurizio Pochettino was sacked as the Tottenham manager on Tuesday night. On Wednesday morning, it was announced at 6 a.m. Jose Mourinho, a huge appointment.
Absolutely buzzing with the news, really. It's been so long now without a trophy. I think it's 11 years and counting, and we just got a born winner now.
I don't accept to be here winning nothing now. I don't. But I feel that we can because of you.
Kane had one of the best managers in the world behind him, and it seemed like everything was falling into place.
Might be in again. Leaves it for Kane. What a fantastic finish!
He's come top in goals and top in assists. Only 2 players have managed to do that. Some of the goals that he scored, there is no limit to what he can do.
But what happened next was peak Spurs.
We are hearing that Tottenham Hotspur have sacked Jose Mourinho.
17 months into the job, and 6 days before he was due to lead his team to the Carabao Cup final.
A club that has an empty trophy room sacks me 2 days before a final.
Tottenham have had a disastrous season. Where they are at the moment outside of European football, forget Champions League.
Tottenham are a very big football club, but have won very little for being a very big football club.
they are officially a club on the road to nowhere. I'm telling you that now. And why would Harry Kane even contemplate doing anything else than slapping in a transfer request?
If Kane wanted to lift a trophy, it seemed like he'd have to do it the hard way.
To him, he chooses Grealish instead. It's Grealish, it's Kane! England have a 2-goal lead! Sterling looking for Kane, an early chance, an early England goal! And England celebrate an opening goal inside 4 minutes in Rome. Good luck. Saved, back in! Yes!
Italy has won the European Football Championships, downing England 3-2 on penalties.
At this point, Kane had to consider what he was really in this for.
Manchester City have made their move. They have bid £100 million for the Tottenham striker Harry Kane.
£100 million. Tottenham have rejected that for Harry Kane.
They didn't want to negotiate, and when one team want to negotiate, there's nothing to say.
I can't see it moving on this summer. I just think Daniel Levy is way too shrewd a businessman.
Our information is that Harry Kane has not shown up to Tottenham training this morning.
As you can see there, Harry Kane hasn't shown up for a second day. It's not a good look, is it really, for Harry Kane to be pretty much on strike now for 2 days.
Harry Kane will be staying at Tottenham.
They tried to force Spurs to sell him to Manchester City, and it backfired spectacularly.
He was on the bench against Wolves. He came off the bench. Getting that reaction from the Tottenham Hotspur supporters, Tottenham fans know he's a phenomenal striker, that he's not won anything. He's been there since he was a little boy, and it hurts him and it hurts Tottenham fans.
You're actually becoming a club that's getting further and further away from where he wants to get to.
There's a legacy of being the record goal scorer at this club, which he's achieved now, and potentially being the Premier League's record goal scorer.
As Spurs continued to flounder, Kane kept on breaking records.
The highest individual goal scorer at a single club in the Premier League.
Harry Kane, the England and Tottenham striker, who has just become England's all-time leading goal scorer with a penalty against Italy.
Tottenham beat City 1-0. Harry Kane clinches the all-time club record, goal number 267.
He's down to a year left of his contract now at the end of the season. He's got a big decision to make.
Either Kane walks, either you take, 50, 60 million now, or he walks for nothing in a year.
It's not about the money, it's about the legacy, isn't it? You've got to think, what do I want my legacy to look like? Broken the Spurs record, broken the England record. What's next? Trophies.
Hi everyone, I wanted to be the first to tell you Tottenham fans that I'll be leaving the club today.
England captain Harry Kane has finally joined German champions Bayern Munich in a £100 million deal.
From an 11-year-old boy to a 30-year-old man now, there's been so many great moments and special memories.
The hope from Harry Kane's perspective is this: for the next 2 or 3 years, he's winning the Bundesliga and competing to win the Champions League.
Harry Kane for a new Bayern club record, the first man to score 6 times in his first 5 games in the...
Harry Kane does something that I've never seen a player in his position do before, in that you're seeing someone who's a real number 9. He holds the ball, he brings people into play, he scores goals, and as his game's evolved, he's almost dropped deep to become a number 10.
Kane's having a fantastic season, but the team is struggling.
Bayer Leverkusen are German champions for the first time in a historic season.
Can we just pray for Harry Kane? He's gone there to win trophies. And he could be out the Champions League next week.
Real Madrid have done it again. They scored 2 late goals to beat Bayern Munich and reached the final 2-1, the final score.
Just imagine that Harry Kane leaves Spurs where he can't win a trophy, goes to Bayern Munich where they win trophies every year and doesn't win a trophy.
There was something romantic about that story of Harry Kane getting the opportunity to win a trophy at Bayern Munich. He's been at Tottenham all those years, and it felt like the story was he'll go to Bayern to be able to finally pick up silverware.
He's gone there to win things. He's ended up with absolutely nothing.
So confirmation then, Bayern Munich are champions.
15 seasons, 13 of those spent as a Tottenham player, but Harry Kane is finally a trophy winner.
If you love football, then be happy for this man. The only thing missing was the trophy.
Every athlete will tell you there's not one straight line to the top. There's a lot of bumps along the road, and that's kind of what my career's been. And I think in football in general, you're always going to have people who doubt you, people who criticise you. The most important thing is that you know what you're trying to achieve. Yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about the trophies, and whether I finish with 1 trophy or 20 trophies, I don't think it'll change my mindset every day when I wake up. Is to be the best person, to be the best teammate, the best player I can be. And when I look back, I was never the one that I think people expected to go on and do what I've done in my career.